This is Radio Nepal. I'm Kaushal Khimire with the news. The headlines first. Government directs Nepal Electricity Authority to restore power supplies to industries having long pending dues. Prime Minister Prachanda instructs Labour Ministry not to impose additional financial burden to aspiring migrant workers. Ambar Bahadur Bista of Rashtriya Prajatantra Party elected as Kosi Province Speaker. And French President Emmanuel Macron picks 34-year-old Gabriel Attal as Prime Minister. Now the news in detail. The government has directed the Nepal Electricity Authority to ensure power supply in the industries whose power supply was cut off due to long pending dues. Government spokesperson and Communication Minister Rekha Sharma said a meeting of the Council of Ministers held at Singh Durbar decided to form a committee to probe the issues of power tariff, dues related to dedicated and trunk line services. Former Supreme Court Justice Girish Chandralal will lead the probe panel. Similarly, the Cabinet approved the resignation tendered by Purushottam Khanal, the chairperson of Nepal Telecommunications Authority NTA. As decided by the Cabinet meeting, Authority's Board of Directors, Nabaraj Adhikari has been assigned as the acting chair until the next decision. For the appointment of the new NTA chair, a panel has been formed under the leadership of the Secretary at the Ministry of Communication and Information Technology. The Nepal Electricity Authority, NEA, has announced a 5-year installment facility for the payment of electricity tariff dues related to dedicated and trunkline services. In a public notice issued yesterday, the authority urged relevant entities to submit applications for installment facilities at the respective NEA distribution centers within the next 30 days. Following a decision made during the meeting of the NEA Board of Directors held on the 1st of January, industries are now eligible for an installment facility to settle their dues associated with dedicated and trunkline services. The NEA took this step in response to the accumulated electricity dues from 61 industries amounting to 22.24 billion rupees. The power supply to 24 industries were disconnected. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda has instructed the Labour Ministry to refrain from making or implementing decisions that would impose additional economic burden on migrant workers seeking jobs abroad. During a meeting yesterday with Labour Minister, Secretary and departmental employees at his office, Prime Minister Dahal urged the authorities concerned to not take any move and implement a decision causing additional economic burden on aspiring migrant workers. He expressed concern about aspiring migrant workers on foreign employment falling victim to usury and intermediaries. Likewise, he directed the maximum utilization of the Social Security Fund by investing the amount in the fund in projects that yield optimal results. Ambar Bahadur Bista from the Rashtriya Prajatantra Party has been unanimously elected as the Speaker of the Kosi Province. Both the ruling coalition and the main opposition, CP-UML, backed the candidacy of Bista for the post of the province Speaker. Deputy Speaker Sri Chan Danuwar announced Bista as the province Speaker as the only single candidate for the post. Meanwhile, Kosi Province Chief Parshuram Khapung administered the oath of office and secrecy to the newly elected Speaker Bista. Minister for Communication and Information Technology Rekha Sharma has said any decision to be made disregarding the rights of the Prime Minister will not be applicable. During a meeting of the State Affairs and Good Governance Committee under the House of Representatives in the discussions over the bill to revise the Constitutional Council Act 2010, the government spokesperson advised to correct the system without focusing on any specific individual. Responding to the concerns raised during the discussions on the bill, Minister Sharma urged participants to work together to strengthen the bill. Minister for Foreign Affairs, Narayan Prakash Saud, has said an understanding has been recently reached between Nepal and India to forward procedural activities of the Pancheshwar project within a month. The Foreign Affairs Minister made the remark while addressing a program in Kanchanpur yesterday. On a different note, the Foreign Affairs Minister said that 10 Nepalese lost their lives in Russia-Ukraine war. An application has been filed for the rescue of 150 Nepalese missing in Russia. Foreign Affairs Minister Saud mentioned that efforts were underway to bring back safely to those who are in Russia, to bring the bodies and to rescue the injured. The Minister for Labour, Employment and Social Security, Saroj Singh Bhandari, and the Ambassador of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to Nepal, Saad Abu Hamid, met yesterday and discussed the bilateral relations between Nepal and Saudi Arabia. The meeting at the Labour Ministry served as a platform to deliberate on the prospects and challenges faced by Nepali migrant workers in Saudi Arabia. According to the Embassy of Saudi Arabia, the dialogue focused on exploring and enhancing employment opportunities for Nepali workers in Saudi Arabia and making their labour more secure and dignified. Saudi Arabia is one of the prime destinations for Nepali migrant workers. Likewise, visiting Upper House Chairperson Jerry Buttimer of Ireland paid a courtesy call on Speaker Debraj Kimire yesterday. During the meeting held at Speaker's office at Singh Durbar, matters relating to bilateral relations between the Republic of Ireland and Nepal and the exchange of parliamentary experience were discussed. Buttimer is on a 5-day official visit to Nepal. You're listening to Radio Nepal's 8 a.m. English News Bulletin. Now on to some international updates. French President Emmanuel Macron has promoted his popular 34-year-old education minister Gabriel Attal to Prime Minister as he seeks to reboot a second term hindered by a fractured parliament. According to the BBC, Attal is the youngest Prime Minister in modern French history. The year 2023 has been confirmed as the warmest on record, driven by human-caused climate change and boosted by the natural El Niño weather event. The BBC has quoted the European Union's climate service as saying last year was about 1.48 degrees Celsius warmer than the long-term average before humans started burning large amounts of fossil fuel. Sea surface temperature have also smashed previous highs. The Met Office reported last week that the United Kingdom experienced its second warmest year on record in 2023. These global records are bringing the world closer to breaching key international climate targets. Now, the general weather forecast for the country for today, according to the Meteorological Forecasting Division. The weather will be partly cloudy in Lumini Province, Karnali Province and Sudar Paschim Province, along with the hilly regions of Kosi Province, Bagmati Province and Gandaki Province, and mainly fair in the rest of the country. There are also chances of light snowfall at 1 or 2 places of the high hilly and mountainous region of Kosi Province and Gandaki Province. With this, we have almost come to the end of this news bulletin, but before wrapping up, the headlines once again. Government directs Nepal Electricity Authority to restore power supply to industries having long pending dues. Prime Minister Prachanda instructs Labour Ministry not to impose additional financial burden to aspiring migrant workers. Ambar Bahadur Bista of Rashtriya Prajatantra Party elected as Kosi Province Speaker. And French President Emmanuel Macron picks 34-year-old Gabriel Attal as Prime Minister. Well, that's all the news we have for this bulletin. Our next bulletin in English will be at 2 in the afternoon. You can also listen to us online at our website, www.onlineradionepal.gov.np. Keep listening to Radio Nepal and have a good day.